founder of the Quarterback Summit, a program that helps quarterbacks reach their potential. Now he's doing the Summit Tour, camps around the country, middle school, high school quarterbacks, Chicago, D.C., Houston. His name is Jordan Palmer. Okay, I'll tell you what I didn't like. I'm going to throw it right out there because I'm America's honesty broker, Jordan. I cannot tell a lie. I'm like Abe Lincoln. Okay. I hated Will Levis, the bathroom muscle shots. I hated them. I'm like, bro, there's never been a great quarterback who looks like a bodybuilder. You got to get more self-awareness. Get that stuff off your IG. What is your take on my reaction that is not what I want to see? I want to see film room. I want to see self-awareness. That drove me crazy.
Well, I think that was a popular take, and I've spent a lot of time with Will, and there's a shift right now with young quarterbacks because in early 2000s or late 2000s, I guess, when social media was becoming a thing, even Tom Brady was like late to Instagram, late to social media. But what we're getting is quarterbacks that have now grown up in that world, and so people my age and up don't understand a lot of the things. But the reality is, I think you're spot on when you say that no Hall of Famers ever been built like that. But they didn't grow up training the way that quarterbacks today train. And so I think if you got it, you flaunt it. There's a time and a place for that stuff. And this is the most over scrutinized phase of anybody's career. If they're going to be a high pick heading into the draft, especially because it's April and there's nothing else to talk about right now. But what I can vouch for is he got those muscles through work ethic. And I do like work ethic and I do like confidence. And he's got those two things in spades.
Okay, so you know all these quarterbacks, the top four guys. I was talking to somebody in the NFL, and the comp for C.J. Stroud is Jared Goff, which I think 10 years ago is different than today. Is I like a little wiggle, I like a little movement. I think C.J. Stroud is fine. I don't see a lot of wow. Even Jared Goff, who I think is Matt Ryan with a beautiful arm, and Jared Goff wins a lot, but Sean McVay moved off him. So is the criticism about C.J. Stroud? I know he's accurate, good kid, size is good, but I don't see a lot of wow. And most great quarterbacks in this league, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, there is a quality or three where you go, whoa, that's like five guys in the world. Lamar Jackson's feet. Is that a fair criticism of C.J. Stroud? He's good. I don't see the juice or the wow.
Well, I think wow is a nice to have, but it's not a necessity. It's kind of like arm strength, like having a rocket arm or a top five arm. It's nice to have, but it's certainly not needed. And the greatest player to ever play, Tom Brady, didn't have that arm, and we wouldn't categorize him as a wow guy either. And you and I are both big fans of his. I think what you're getting in C.J. Stroud is consistency, and the consistency in the most important category, which is accuracy. And I know sometimes this happened with Mac Jones when he came out. This happened with every quarterback who plays at Ohio State when they come out. They go, we're throwing to guys that are wide open. Yeah, but where's he hitting them? Right? If he's hitting them in the throat every time, then that means something to me. If the guys are catching on their ankles or slowing down or jumping when they're wide open, that's different. And so C.J. Stroud is one of the most consistently accurate passers that I've evaluated going through this process. Been around him since he was a kid. And I think they're going to get a consistently accurate quarterback, and they're going to get a consistently accurate guy every day.
So you've worked with Mahomes and Burrow and Allen and Trevor Lawrence. So Jalen Hurts is a second-round pick, and I said yesterday, my entire life, patience was a good thing. So with a great O-line, a Pro Bowl running back, excellent receivers and tight ends, an offensive coach, and a brilliant offensive coordinator, he had 22 touchdown passes. I like him a lot. But they ask him to run 11 times a game, which outside of Lamar Jackson is the most in NFL history for a quarterback. Josh Allen runs half that, and I think he runs too much, and he's 6'6", 250. I want to see a little bit more of Jalen Hurts before he resets the quarterback market financially. What do you make of that take? I like him, but I want to see him now. What if he doesn't have a brilliant offensive coordinator? What if one of his receivers goes down? To reshift the market, you have to be able to carry people. Thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
Well, it depends always on, in terms of signing somebody at this point in their career, what they want, right? Are they willing to hold out, or do they want the money now? But I think you look at it like any investment, right? So, you've done well financially. I'm sure you're invested in all sorts of stuff. And so when somebody comes to you with an opportunity, they're going to talk about the past. They're going to go trailing 12 months revenue. They're going to show you the growth, everything that's been happening. But you're going to invest in what they're going to do next, right? I mean, I don't care how good last year was. I want to know what next year is going to look like. And the same reason that the Eagles, if Jalen's adamant about it, should pay him now is the same reason that Baltimore's not paying Lamar, and that's that they see in Philly they see the trajectory: 77 passer rating the first year, 87 the next year, 101 last year. Everything about Jalen Hurts' game, and I actually think his superpower is not anything physical, mental, or emotional, any of those things. He's great in a lot of categories. It's his commitment to improving. He couldn't throw it well enough to keep Tua Tagovailoa on the sideline at Alabama. And then he got better. And then we all crushed him in the draft, right? We didn't think, everyone was surprised when he went second round. What are they doing? He can't throw. He's gotten so much better. He is just so open to addressing whatever his issues and limitations are that's what they're investing in, is he's such a sure thing for the future. And Baltimore, there's a lot going on right now with Lamar, but it's the lack of availability in Lamar and the work. Is he going to be here? What's next year look like? And so for the same reasons they're not in Baltimore, I think they will in Philly, because they know what they're getting. They're getting a guy where whatever he's not good at right now, he will be good at next year. And lastly, Colin, think about Jalen. Who has he learned football from? Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, and he's been with Shane Steichen, who's now a head coach for 2 years. This guy has been exposed to good football.
So I loved Sam Darnold out of college. Obviously, it has not developed the way I thought. But there's rumors now the Niners are ready to move Trey Lance. Brock Purdy's got a surgery when he's going to be ready. So they brought in Sam Darnold. And I thought to myself, they scheme guys open. They're not going to ask him to ad-lib a lot. That's when Sam can get in trouble, when he starts ad-libbing, holds the ball too long. Darnold with the Niners. What you've worked with him, and you know those Niner guys as well as anybody. What was your take on that move?
Yeah, your comment section is going to get lit up on what I'm about to say. I think he's got as good a chance to win a Super Bowl this year as any quarterback in the NFL.
Woo!
And let me explain that. Strong take. Here's why. He's going to walk into that huddle, and he's going to see Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and a really good offensive line. And pretty good backups coming in, too, when they get an 11 personnel. And if they want to go 21 personnel with a fullback, he's going to bring in Juszczyk or whatever.
Yeah.
So that huddle, he's looking around. There's some horses in that huddle. Okay. Then when he's not on the field, that's arguably the best defense in the league. And I haven't said a word about Kyle Shanahan and play calling yet. And then you look at the NFC. Who does he have to beat once they get to the playoffs?
Jalen Hurts.
Got to be Jalen Hurts. And then who? Derek Carr? As opposed to the AFC, where you go, well, what about Mahomes? What about Burrow? What about Josh Allen? What about Justin Herbert? What about Aaron Rodgers? Well, that's the what about right there. I just said 6 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, 6 of the best players in the NFL. And they all got to play each other. And they all got to beat each other up and outscore each other and all that stuff. And so I look at the NFC and the disparity between the NFC competitiveness and the AFC's competitiveness. And I look at the situation. And then lastly, look at the conference that he gets to play in. He gets to play the Arizona Cardinals twice. They're a dumpster fire right now. He gets to play the Rams that are coming off of the biggest drop-off after a Super Bowl that we've ever seen. And then he gets to play Seattle, that I would argue is rebuilding as well. And so from situational standpoint, I think it's maybe the best situation to be in if you're a quarterback in the NFL right now. And then it's specific to Sam. He's had 5 tough years. He's been sitting back there holding on to the ball too long, waiting for Le'Veon Bell to get open and Robbie Anderson. And that's just not going to be the case this year.
Yeah. No, it's built for him. I mean, it is built for him. I would love to see it. Finally, I would take Bryce Young number 1 because I think he's polished, refined, and ready to play. I don't love his size, but I've come to terms with, in the NFL, not everybody has to be a 401k. If he could stabilize the franchise, I'd take him. Your thoughts on Bryce Young?
Young is going to just show up and play right away, play at a high level. He did it in high school. I know it sounds like high school football, but he transferred into modern day following JT Daniels and one of the most prolific offenses that high school football has ever seen. And he just broke every record. Then he went to Alabama. He got to sit behind Mac Jones. Everyone thought Bryce was going to start because Mac's been there 5 years. And he came in and he won a Heisman, right? And so I just don't see anything about the NFL game being a challenge for him. The biggest question, and it's not a new take, is, how available is he going to be over the next, 8-10 years with the size and all that. But the reason that I have so much confidence in Bryce is whatever challenges the league presents to him and his size, he's just a guy who's always overcompensated somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's ended up not being a non-factor. He's a small quarterback in the SEC too, and that just didn't matter.
There's a Chris Paul feel to him. He elevates people. He can hit the mid-range jumper. Bryce doesn't have a huge arm, but it's just leadership, toughness, awareness. The S2 test now they talk about cognitive ability, the 40-yard dash for the brain. You can just watch Mahomes play, and you can see how quickly he sees stuff. I watch Bryce Young play, and from the time I see it to the time the ball's there, boom, boom. And I just think, that is a huge part of this league is recognition and delivery. The difference between 1.5 seconds and 2 can be an interception. I just think, I don't remember a college quarterback that saw the field as good as he did. I guess that's my take.
Yeah. Yeah, and stepping into it, I remember I was talking to Steve Sarkisian. He was at Alabama, and Bryce had just decommitted from USC to commit to Alabama. And I was talking to Sark. Sark was my older brother Carson's quarterback coach at USC, so I go way back with Sark. And he goes, we don't know what we have in Mac Jones, because he hadn't played yet, right? And this is the only high school kid in the country that I've ever recruited who I think could step right in as a true freshman and handle being the quarterback at Alabama. Kind of like I've heard you talk about when you have a star on your helmet, it's different than when you don't, right? Or being a Laker. Well, in college, playing at Bama is like that. You don't get that at OU. You get that at Bama. And he was, there's confidence in a Steve Sarkisian to play this true freshman if you have to. I just think it's going to be the same thing in the league. And I'm big fans on all these guys sitting. And except for that guy and this guy and that guy, and this year I don't think Bryce needs to sit. He can just play him.
Jordan Palmer, say hi to your brother for me as always. Jordan Palmer, buddy, good to see you. The Summit Tour, 5 more camps around the country, middle and high school quarterbacks. Check it out. Also, Quarterback Summit. He's the founder. Good seeing you, man. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.